Hey YouTubers, today I'll be reviewing X-Men The Last Stand. Now this movie is not directed by Bryan Singer, it's directed by Brett Ratner. Yes, the only reason Bryan Singer didn't do this movie, he wanted to do Superman Returns. And most people don't like that movie, so do with that what you will. So X-Men The Last Stand is basically trying to do multiple things. It's trying to do a version of the of the Phoenix Saga and mutants being cured. So now, unlike most people, I don't hate this movie as much. There is some good things, and I'm talking about it right now. Kelsey Grammer's Beast, that's just perfect casting. He just fits Hank McCoy being smart and also dangerous. Yeah. And then we see a version of Angel. Have mercy. He's barely in this movie. Like in the comics, he's one of the original 5 X-Men. But it's like TV shows and movies. No one gives a crap about his character. Yeah. So basically, when you see the beginning of the movie, you see him when he's young. He's trying to take off his, angel wings and all that stuff. He's afraid to be a mutant. Because, if you know anything about the comics or anything about Warren Worthington, his name was Warren Worthington III. If you ever read a comic about him or even seen the 90s X-Men cartoon, he never wanted to be a mutant at first. And then he started to accept it. Then just losing his wings and becoming Archangel and all that crap. So when you see in the movie, he wants to be cured, and he says, Dad, I'm sorry. Because, his dad don't like mutants, so he said, oh, crap. Not you. Yeah. I think it's pretty much a good movie. So we see, I'm not going to talk about the whole movie, but I'm just saying we see Jean Grey as a kid, how they recruit her, and all that stuff. Yeah. It's basically pulled right out of an X-Men comic book, but whatever. Yeah. Because if you've seen X-Men 2, you know she died, and then, spoiler alert, and then she just come back to life. And then, I don't like how they portray Cyclops. Okay, sorry. Just keep with the good things. But anyway, sorry. I got ahead of myself. But anyway, Kelsey Grammer's Beast. That's cool. I like the idea of the mutant cure. And because it's like mutants are going against each other, it's like, okay, we have a chance now. Do you still want to be a mutant? Or do you want to be cured? Because, most people don't like to be mutants. And because the X-Men, they had to learn how to accept it. But Rogue, now Rogue is different. She can't touch people. So, in her being the mutant cure, getting the mutant cure just made more sense. Like, we find out later. I'm just going to say it now. We found out later that the mutant cure is temporary. Yeah, and X-Men Days of Future Past. So we see Rogue, she has her powers back. So it's like, okay, the mutant cure was temporary. All of that, death and destruction didn't really happen. Didn't really need to happen. And it has a good theme song, and that was really interesting. The fight scenes are incredible. I like when Wolverine fought Juggernaut. It was funny. And there is funny things about it, especially the end of the movie. When Beast basically says he'd start using his smart words, and he basically said, forget this. I'm just going to punch people. And that is funny. It is. And Wolverine says, who's the furball? It's funny. It is. It has a lot of puns. Because you know how Storm can control the weather? And the Professor X basically says, you know how fast the weather can change. It's like, oh my goodness. There's a lot of puns. And the fact that they kill off Professor X was actually crazy. Like, originally, this was meant to be the last X-Men movie. That's why the movie makes no sense at the end. Because they were trying to mint. That's why they took Rogue off the team. They was like, okay, this is actually the last X-Men movie. Until it made X-Men First Class. And Matthew Vaughn, who did that movie, basically said, you know what, I want to do another X-Men movie. This time, let's just make it not fit in the timeline at all, and basically just call it a prequel. Okay, bye-bye. That's how you make the movie. See ya. Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about the bad parts. Cyclops. What the balls, man? He's the leader of the X-Men, and they just gave him and put him in a depression. I mean, I know that's not joking and funny, but he was in a depression for like 4 years, people. So what was he doing in that 4 years? Trying to kill himself? I don't know. and he keeps hearing Jean's voice in his head. It's weird. And then when he kisses Jean, he vaporizes into nothingness. All that's left is his glasses. It's like, oh man. He was cool in the first X-Men movies, first two. He was like, okay, he was the fierce leader who was a little bit arrogant, and then like what Wolverine and he was in a love triangle with Wolverine and Jean, because Wolverine also had a crush on Jean Grey. And it's like, why is Wolverine still on the X-Men if he basically has also has a crush on Jean Grey. And it kind of makes you feel like, how are they good on missions if Wolverine and Cyclops are always arguing about, ooh, I'll get Jean Grey. No, I'll save Jean Grey and all that stuff. And there's another pun. And because, Wolverine has accepted Jean's death, but he's still, like, in the Wolverine, he's super haunted by it. Yeah, it freaks him out. He having dreams. But it's like another pun. He said, not everyone can heal as fast as you, Logan. And you finally see the Danger Room. That finally, and Sentinels, which also doesn't make sense, because if you think X-Men Days of Future Past, Sentinels wouldn't be made until, like, the 70s. And then also they wouldn't be made until after. And then they would be destroyed. And then, they would start making Sentinels again after 2015, which Sentinels have already been made in the Danger Room. But yeah, I remember, they didn't always know they were going to make another X-Men movie after this. That's why you had to see a cameo of a head of a Sentinel. And basically, like, when Colossus basically threw Wolverine, which Hulk calls it, basically says Wolvie Fastball Special. But anyway, yeah. It's weird. It's weird what they did to Cyclops and just killed him off. And the Phoenix Force. Oh, Lord. Okay. In the comics, and even the X-Men animated series, the Phoenix is from space. It was created in the beginning of time. And it bonded with Jean Grey. Eventually, the Phoenix Force got corrupted and then became the Dark Phoenix. Okay. That's just a tidbit. But the movie basically did something like, it's interesting, but I don't think it worked. Because, these X-Men movies haven't introduced aliens yet. So, having a thing from space, that's basically like a giant bird of fire. Because, of course, it's a Phoenix. But they haven't introduced aliens yet. And then I feel like the movie could have just worked if it was just about the mutant cure. That's interesting in itself. But just having also the Dark Phoenix saga, that they really oversaturated this movie. And then the Phoenix Force, okay, what is the Phoenix Force in this version? Okay, the Phoenix Force is basically like Jean Grey's inner turmoil. Like, okay, Jean Grey when she was a kid, I don't know if this is still in the movie, because they don't really talk about why he locked away her mind. But in the comics, I know this is in the comics, because I don't actually know why Jean Grey is the way she is in these movies. But in the comics, she sees her friend basically die from an accident. It messes with her mind. So she's out of control. She can't control her powers. So Professor X locked away a portion of her personality so she could control her powers. So he locked that part of her mind away so she can control her powers. So this version, the thing that he locked away was the Phoenix Force, Jean Grey's inner darkness, who gets free and then takes fully control of Jean Grey and pretends she's the actual Jean Grey. Jean Grey has tiny bit control. Like, she only has little control that basically said Wolverine go kill her, but he didn't kill her, so until the end of the movie. So yeah. And how come Wolverine was the only one that can defeat the Phoenix? Because, I mean, the Phoenix has fought Thor, and basically, like, seriously? I'm like, yeah. Like, the Phoenix Force has been grazed by Thor's hammer. That's a feat in itself, because Phoenix Force is powerful, people. I mean, the Phoenix Force can basically do anything. Like, the Phoenix Force actually didn't have to go kill Wolverine. I mean, the Phoenix Force is so powerful, it could teleport Wolverine to Antarctica, and in 7 minutes, he could have destroyed the universe. That doesn't really make sense how Wolverine's always the only one who could do things. And I just want this to be more like an X-Men movie. That's the problem I have with all these X-Men movies. I love Wolverine, don't get me wrong, but Wolverine's not everything X-Men. He didn't appear in an X-Men comic book. He appeared in a Hulk comic book, and he wasn't created till like 12 years after the X-Men were created. So it's just like, I want X-Men movie was just the X-Men and eventually do Wolverine, because Wolverine is not just X-Men. He has ties to a lot of characters like Captain America. He was there during World War II. Because he knows he doesn't age. So, and the Wolverines that we get, except Logan, suck. Because it's like, okay, in every X-Men movie, you always want Wolverine to be the main character. And then when he actually is the main character, not just bogged down by X-Men stuff, it's terrible. Yeah. So it's fun. I mean, I definitely like watching it, but there is nitpicks about it. And then all you had to do to kill the Phoenix was stab her in the heart, which doesn't bother me, because if you ever seen the X-Men cartoon, but the Phoenix Force actually can't die. It was actually in a state of suspended animation in Jean Grey's body. So it hid itself in Jean Grey's body and kept her alive. And then eventually she told the Phoenix to let her go and then die. I'm not saying they had to do that, but I'm just saying that it was too easy to kill the Phoenix. Like, it's tough. Like, even if this is not like the Phoenix Force from the comic books, it's not as powerful because it's from Earth. It's not from space. It's not powerful. It's powerful as, yeah. But everything else doesn't really bother me. Mystique being cured and basically sell out Magneto and saying, there he is. Yep. And basically, because Wolverine, Magneto basically said, she was so ugly, and she was so beautiful when she was a mutant. Now she's ugly as a human, because she got hit with the thing and got cured. And then she basically just sold him out and basically saying, ugh, if you don't like me, I'm gonna tell everybody where your secret base is, which is only in the jungle. I mean, it's in the forest. The most obvious place ever. Yeah. And oh my goodness, Juggernaut. Balls, people. They made him a mutant? What the balls? He's not a mutant, people. And that's not even weird. He doesn't even act like the Juggernaut. He basically wears a shirt that shows all his muscles. And guess what? Who's Juggernaut played by? The coach from She's the Man. What the balls, people? That's terrible casting. Yeah, because he's basically saying, don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, you bastard. It's intense. It's very intense. And Ellen Page is Kitty Pryde. Okay, she's in the movie. She's a weird version. She's weird with Kitty Pryde. And if you actually think about it, Iceman cheated on Rogue in this movie. Because he said, ooh, and because apparently, I thought, when I first saw this movie when I was younger, I didn't see it in the theater, but when I saw it on DVD years later, I was like, wait, Iceman and Rogue were still together? I was like, I thought they broke up in the second movie, and then he started to date Kitty Pryde. Oh no, he was flirting with Kitty Pryde at the same time he was dating Rogue. It was like, oh my goodness, Iceman he cheating on people. He laid women on. But I like when he finally stands up to Pyro. And he finally becomes full Iceman. Like, his body is ice. I said, Pyro said, you're in over your head, Bobby. Maybe you should go back to school. And then he just, headbutts him and basically saying, you never should have left. That is funny. And then Beast going around and hit Magneto with the cure. And then he sees his mistake and he says, ooh, what did I do? What did I do? The Phoenix Force, because he's an idiot sometimes. He actually thought he could control the Phoenix? The Phoenix? What? And there's another pun. I could make a whole video about how many puns in this is. When he picks up, the thing in San Francisco, the San Francisco Bridge, or whatever it's called, he picks it up and basically goes to Stryker's Island, which the cure is. But anyway, he basically says Charles has always wanted to build. Charles has always wanted to build bridges. It's like, wait, huh? Okay, we get it. You can pick up a bridge. Have mercy. And oh my goodness, the post-credit scene is convoluted as balls. Apparently, and they don't even explain it, but Charles Xavier has like a twin brother who's brain dead. And then when he dies, he puts his mind in his brain dead his brain dead brother's mind. And then basically he inhabits, makes him his own body. It's confusing as balls, but that's why in the Wolverine post-credit scene of that movie, he basically said, "You're not the only one with gifts," because it's easier than saying that convoluted crap. Post-credit scene is stupid. Yeah, like, I feel like you could watch this without watching the Wolverine movie. Any of the Wolverine movies. Because they don't really tie into any X-Men movies. You can watch Logan and probably you've never seen the first two Wolverine movies. Because they're not relevant. Like, other than the post-credit scene, you can watch the second Wolverine movie by itself without watching any of the X-Men movies. If this is your first Wolverine movie. Because other than the post-credit scene, the movie basically doesn't tie into anything. Yeah, and the fact that in the Wolverine movie, he was supposed to wear his comic costume in X-Men Days of Future Past, but that never happened, so. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the ending is cool, but it's just like, oh my goodness, it was that easy? All you have to do was stab her in the heart? You could have done the beginning of the movie, but he is stupid. Let's talk about Magneto's movie. He's basically so uninteresting in this movie. He has no screen time. After spending a lot of time with him in the first two movies, knowing his motivation, even getting his backstory in 1944, because when he was in X-Men First Class, basically expanded his origin even more. The fact that he was like a Holocaust survivor and all that stuff. That was interesting, and he pulled the medal. And that was actually cool, but X-Men the First Class, Last Stand, he's barely in this movie. And because Magneto doesn't have to be the villain in every X-Men movie. He's barely in this movie. No one even cares. Yeah. All he does in the ending of the movie is find out the mutant cure was temporary when he moved the metal chess piece. And he's like, okay. And basically, it's like Magneto dressed like Magneto's supposed to be like in his 70s, but in the end of the movie when he lost his powers, he dressed like he was in his 90s. His outfit, he looked so old, and he's like, okay, now I should be in a retirement home because I'm old, with other old people at the chess board thingy, and he's dressing so oldly. It's like, we get it, dude. You're just a regular old man now. Calm down. Yeah. And at some point after this movie, like, we were going to get a sequel to this movie, but it wasn't the movie sequel that you thought. Like, okay, if you ever seen X-Men Days of Future Past, they said at some point Wolverine meets adult Quicksilver. When did this happen? And he said, ooh, would I know him, he wasn't so young. When the balls did you meet? Oh, when did you meet grown-up Quicksilver? What the balls? It's like, we didn't see it. It's like, oh, apparently after the events of this movie, Wolverine meets adult Quicksilver for some reason. Okay, in that version of Pietro. So if you knew adult Quicksilver, how in the balls did you not know that Quicksilver was Magneto's son? And in X-Men Days of Future Past, you just said, oh, kid, your father's Magneto. Bye. Instead of him having to figure it out the whole movie. And he could have told his father, Magneto. Oh my goodness. Whew. But I like this movie. I like Brett Ratner, but it's a mixed bag for me. But I actually like this movie. And when I watched this, I was like, okay, you know what? If you just get all the nitty gritty out, if you take away the stupid mutant stuff, if you take away the Juggernaut, if you take away that stupid post-credit scene, this is a good movie. This is a good movie. This is a good closing out for the original X-Men trilogy. Because we have another X-Men trilogy, which is X-Men First Class, Dark Phoenix, and Apocalypse. I'm not going to count X-Men First Class, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse. I don't count Dark Phoenix because Dark Phoenix is stupid. I will never review it, people. It's bad. Don't watch it. Like, the only way I would watch it if somebody who loves Dark Phoenix, and I would probably have to watch it with them, but it's dumb. It's hard to watch, okay? So, thanks for watching this video, and bye.